Life, you only have one. That's Minecraft hardcore as well as real life. When we are gone, what will be the legacy that is left behind? Life is a battle with the struggle to survive being very real. Not only do physical dangers lurk, but so do power struggles dictated by politics as well as our own restrictions with which we limit ourselves. So, in this 100 days quest with just one life to clutch, what will we be able to accomplish and what will be the legacy we build? One thing I want to do is save some villagers and build a safe haven for them to have a flourishing family. After all, family and friends are important for happiness, as well as sharing resources and great minds to expand our capabilities. Second, we want to defeat the Ender Dragon to free the End and open it up for exploration of resources. Our final big goal is to face our demons and destroy the Wither using the power of the freed souls in a beacon. We'll also build some very useful farms as well. This video took a ton of work and editing, as you see. So please consider helping me out by hitting that good old like button. Really appreciate your support. The journey ultimately begins in the harsh landscape of a desolate mesa that at least has some wooded area for us to use. It is interesting that we find a ruined nether portal near the river in our mesa. The river will sustain us with fish for food, as it may be some time before we are able to have our own farms to utilize. Our only live neighbors in this mesa appear to be some angry pillagers. Besides that, there is an ancient desert temple to which I escape from the angry pillagers and find some useful items like gunpowder, a golden apple, emeralds, and books. Thanks to the pillagers though, I had a bed for the night. After the first day had passed, we planted sugarcane, which we would need later, played with some drowns and funny sounding fish, and mined some coal for torches and cooking. We chopped some wood, which we can use for charcoal as an alternative to coal. Overnight, we played with zombies and catch a weird monster party that we were not invited to. We get our first piece of armor from a kind skeleton too. At the dawn of day 2, we make a stairway path down the mountainside to easily get to the river and the abandoned nether portal. It works, maybe. Then on day 3, we go on a serious mining trip in the caves below to get some iron for armor and other purposes, as well as coal, gold, redstone, and diamonds. And let's not forget copper, of course. Was very happy to run into dripstone as this would be useful for an infinite lava farm. As we proceed more deeply into the cave on day 4, we run into more valuable stuff, but also more naughty minions that we have to be careful with. On day 5, we encounter some suffocating glow squid, and day 6, we run into more naughties in the darkness. Gotta spread the light. we run into this huge cave and get very lucky to find a zombie spawner there. As we return to the surface overnight, we get booty bumped by a bunch of phantoms, which means it's probably time to sleep. We start on our renewable lava farm on day 8 and then head out to explore to see if we can find a village for some crops and stuff. As it becomes dark and scary, we find one, so figure it's best to sleep so that the villagers don't have too much fun with zombies. Day 9, we get some wheat and seeds from the village and breed us an army of cows on the way back. How could you go wrong there? The zombies are nothing to me. I got cows. We trap our new friends into a temporary hole, which I know they will enjoy. Work on our mountain stairway some more, and get that nether portal ready for use with our diamond pickaxe. We get to working on a sugarcane farm and make a map. And to make the cows happier, we make a place for them, and also for sheep later. The end of day 12, we have an unwelcome visitor and more phantoms, so we figure it's time to finally sleep again. Burn, baby, burn. Lava farm is already working great, and we get a piece of flint from gravel, which we need for flint and steel for the nether. And a little bit of diamond armor is in good order. Before journeying to the nether though, we kill some more funny fish for food and make a shield. And then into the nether we go. Not a terrible start in the nether waste, but we still build a structure around our portal to protect it. In our search for a nether fortress, we encounter some cute but overly wild and vicious magma cubes that nearly kill us. So we probably won't be getting one of these for a pet anytime soon. We recover, and after a couple of days traversing the hellish conditions, we spot a fortress in the distance. After having a close call with a screeching ghast, we enter the nether fortress in search of blaze rods and nether wart. It's a rough time with deadly blazes and wither skeletons, but we eventually get to witness a hilarious battle between the hostile mobs and find a blaze spawner for rods. No nether wart, unfortunately, but after we retrieve 16 blaze rods, we decide to make our escape. On day 16, we journey back, but along the way, take care of some mean piglins and mine some gold and nether quartz. We exit the portal toward home, and the phantoms are very happy to see us. On day 17, we feel like causing chaos with our pillager neighbors. We unleash their captive golem and steal their stuff. We get the bad omen for our naughty behavior and decide to go to the nearest village to share the love as we scavenge whatever crops we can for our own farms. Pillagers begin to raid, and since we had overstayed our welcome, we once again make our escape. We do find some sheep in the savannah who really want our wheat, and on our way back home, we get a whole train of sheep and cows, and even spiders and zombies want to join the Congo line. We make it home after what seems like 84 years.
It's been 84 years.
We then breed our fairy friends, find a horse, and go exploring with our new friend. We then find and loot a ruined nether portal. It gets dark and dangerous, so we go for a sleep in the night in the wilderness. On day 19, we find some welcome dark oak and snag some saplings to plant as we return home from adventuring. We'll do some more animal breeding, plant some bamboo, and tie up our horse before working overnight to make some dyes and plant melons, pumpkins, and other crops. We gather some wood and get some leather from cows to make an enchantment table. We have some more fun with the cows and trees and make fermented spider eyes, which we need for potions to cure zombie villagers. We also start making glass and gathering terracotta to make into white terracotta for our house that we will build eventually. We then use the brewing stand to make our weakness potions. On day 22, our little man makes a crazy trip into the nether to play with some ghast and skeletons to hopefully get some extra bows for a farm we'll build later. We emerge from the portal on day 24 to find it raining. We find the wandering trader on our property, and he totally does not go mysteriously disappearing. The cows kindly give us some more leather and beef, and we max out our enchantment table. Then we get really lucky with enchanting our diamond pickaxe with 3 awesome buffs. Most importantly, fortune. Now overconfident, we use our last diamond to create a shovel and get lucky once again with enchantments. Sharpness 4 and fire aspect on our iron sword though. Then in the night, we find some very kind skeletons give their bows to us. Before returning home, we snag some copper, coal, and iron. Putting our resources to good use, we make observers, dispensers, hoppers, and minecarts for our automatic wool farm, and shears to shear the sheep. We get booty smacked by some phantoms and buy some beetroot seeds from a wandering trader. We fill up our plot of crops and then head down into the mine to get deep. Fortunately, we get some iron and find a zombie spawner and get some redstone before returning to the surface to resume work on our wool farm and place shears into the dispensers. On day 31, we replace the terracotta with dirt so that the pumpkins and melons could produce in the farm. To cool off a bit, we'll go for a swim and also get some ink sacs, which will come in handy for getting our gray and black sheep. Some sheep are a bit more cooperative than others when it comes to getting into their place into the wool farm, but in the end we prevail and the farm is already generating wool before it's even done. The next day, we gather some more terracotta for our house and try our luck in the enchantment table. Got protection 3 and unbreaking on our leggings, which is pretty good, I'd say. We start building the Mesa mansion to go along with our weakness potions. We also use our gold to make some golden apples to cure zombie villagers. Before going on our zombie villager hunt, we notice our wool farm is working well. We get an extraordinary shovel from a kind zombie. The good luck continues as we quickly spot some zombie villagers chilling in the water below our base. By the time we get near the stairway up to our base, we have quite the following, but have to knock off the unwanted. We'll make it with the necessary 2 to cure, but not without almost getting hugged to death. We initiate the cure, lead them to the 2nd floor, and build up for safety as we wait on the transformation to commence. Protected from the burning sun by a temporary layer of cobblestone, the zombies are cured, and we have our first 2 villagers, a cleric with the glass bottle trade, and a carrot farmer. We enchant our diamond axe, and it's okay. With some bread and extra beds, the villagers go to town on reproducing, and more babies are all over the place. Day 36 consists of us gathering some cactus and swatting a phantom as we work on expanding our 2nd floor. After this, we return to the mine to get some lapis, iron, and coal. At the surface, we see it's dark with plenty of naughties roaming about, but we keep mining that sweet Mesa gold and more iron. After being away from home and stinking like you wouldn't believe, we emerge to get smacked by a phantom before making it home to our bed. Plenty of iron and gold to smelt, which will all come in handy. We harvest and replant the crops with a bigger plot, and with Fortune 3 we get tons of extra. The carrots come in handy for some emeralds and XP. We make more job blocks and beds, and the villagers keep going to town after having bread. We get a stone mason with white terracotta and a toolsmith who offers good diamond hoes, shovels, and pickaxes. For day 41, we work on a cactus farm, which will be great for green dye for shepherd villager trades. We make some looms for the shepherds before totally not slaying an nitwit. We get a weaponsmith and armorers who sell us all the diamond stuff we want, making sure to trade with them to lock in their trades. We expand the cactus farm and work more with the villagers, breeding them, getting more carrot farmers, green dye shepherds, and also a fisherman with buckets. We're glad to see the cactus farm is producing very well, and we harvest sugarcane for paper and go back to expanding and adding another level to the cactus farm. We realize that invisible llamas are a thing, and get us another green dye shepherd before checking the wool farm to see that it's doing great. Day 44 kicks off with some enchanting, and we get super lucky with our boots, protection, feather falling, and unbreak, and the 2 essentials on our diamond helmet. We then work on expanding the villager floor more and get another green dye shepherd. We get another cleric with the glass bottle trade who will also help us to get all the ender pearls we need. It was exciting to get a cartographer with both the ocean and mansion maps, and a Restoration 3 librarian that also sells bookshelves, mending, infinity, and all the glass we'll ever need. We immediately find love at first sight. To calm ourselves, we harvest the carrots, melons, and pumpkins for some emeralds and XP. Well, back to working on the librarians, and we get a fishy one who hates spiders, a librarian with Unbreaking 3, and another one with Looting 3 and Aqua Affinity. After restocking on paper, we get a new librarian offering Efficiency 5. Another librarian gives us an offer for looting and bookshelves, and we keep it. We continue this, getting useful Silk Touch protection for Fortune 3 and Fun Channeling, Thorns 3, and Lanterns. We take a brief break from the library to harvest the wheat and beetroots, only to return and get Power 5, our final salt book. We then make some more golden apples and get ready for a rough ride. We tie up the golems and we isolate the villagers that we want to treat. Doesn't take long to find this jolly zombie, and he goes to town. We cure the 8 villagers from the after effects of their hard partying last night. And they offer us much more generous trades. We use a bookshelf loop to level up the librarians with books, and glass bottles to level up the clerics. Coal and iron level up the blacksmiths. and we buy some protection 4 books. Since we want the deals to get even better, we'll go with round 2 of more zombie fun. We cure the villagers once more, and wow, 1 die for 1 emerald. Now for the shepherds, whew, and 4 carrots for the farmer. Now on day 50, the halfway point, we put some more fuel in the Cactus Farm, and then we buy a diamond chest plate from the armor and some diamond shovels from the toolsmith. Deciding to enchant the chest plate, we don't get lucky, but we have better luck with the bow, and we buy power 5 for our bow, and then some mending books for all our armor and gear. After enchanting, it's time for one more round of zombie and villager fun. We cure them and the deals are all great. So happy now. We buy some diorite and white terracotta from the stonemason and buy more books to fully enchant our armor and gear. And the emeralds flow in, especially with the farmer and shepherd trades. Item frames will be great for labeling everything at some point, and the photographer appreciates our business. Disaster almost strikes as an unwanted zombie breaks in to play with the villagers, but we save the day just in time and realize that we have a ton of work to do in the house. Then we do some more trading, harvest some more crops, mine more terracotta for the house, and then do even more villager trading. We buy more books, terracotta, quartz, and even some name tags, and we accumulate blocks of emeralds. Extra swords and axes could also come in handy. We dye our terracotta white for the house, and then do some more enchanting. With the name tags being only 1 emerald each, we snag some more of those and enchant a diamond sword and a fishing rod. We got pretty lucky on the rod, and then even more trading, and the emeralds are getting quite heavy at this point. We enchant another diamond sword, but the result isn't much better this time. We then go about combining and buffing some stuff in the anvil, including our axe and pickaxe. Wood lover really enjoys getting the pumpkins and melons now. More villager trading ensues, and we stock up on some ender pearls and more tools and books. Aqua affinity gets applied to her helmet so we can go scuba diving. But instead of doing that, we combine more villager swords in the anvil to upgrade them, but the anvil died. New anvil is born, and we get back to enchanting, working on getting our sword where we want it. But adding the last enchantment costs 33 levels, so it looks like we have more trading to do. We also work on an axe without silk touch, then a pickaxe with silk touch just to prepare for all situations. More construction on the house to expand the second floor for the villagers, and we tame ourselves a kitty to keep us company. Day 57, our emerald stash gets bigger and bigger, and we do some more house construction. Overnight, we finally get our sword, Dr. Tongue, upgraded satisfactorily. After this, it's more of the same, with more villager trading, wood harvesting, terracotta harvesting, and house construction, which is still far from finished. By the morning of day 62, it's starting to finally look like a house, and the villagers have plenty of room to move around. Taking a break from building, we head back into our mine, getting some more deep slate and a respectable 21 diamonds. We build a stairway that leads up and out. Making sure we are good with ender pearls from our cleric, we head back down into the mine to gather obsidian. Eyes of ender are crafted as well as an ender chest, and since our armor is good with protection, unbreaking, mending, and feather falling, we are confident to begin our mission to the end. We also create some rockets and prepare an anvil and extra mending and unbreaking book in case we find an elytra. Also thorns books to put on our armor, but it's pretty expensive. Now, day 65, we embark on our journey to find Stronghold and a portal to the end. The eyes of Ender lead us to the east and a bit south, and Eye goes into the ground at a village around 2,500 blocks from our base. This is our spot, and we dig down, eventually seeing the stone bricks we've been looking for. We make our way into the underground stronghold and quickly find the end portal and annihilate the silverfish spawner because they suck. Before diving in though, we want to explore the structure a bit. It's good we do because we find a spider spawner, fair loot from it, more loot, and a library with even more loot. We place excess stuff in a chest by the portal, place our eyes of Ender, and enter the end. Our spawn platform is a bit dangerous, so we make a wall before going up to the main island to confront the Ender Dragon. So it's time to take on the Big Mama herself, and we first focus on taking out the end crystals to keep her from healing. And we definitely miss no shots. Also, getting some dragon's breath in bottles as we go. Although we get knocked down a few times, we keep getting back up, and eventually all the crystals are destroyed. And it's time to wail on the big Dr. Tun, our sword, does some pretty decent damage, so it doesn't take too long. Being just barely careful enough with the dragon's breath, as well as the nearby Enderman, the dragon is ultimately defeated and XP rains down. Kind of sad, but a lonely egg from the dragon is left behind, but we take it with us. We make a little stairway upward. We throw our pearl into the end gate and pretty much immediately see an end city in the distance. Two other end cities in the distance as well. Getting as close as we can, we must make a pearl of faith across the void. And we make it. Into the city now, we go to town on the shulkers, with hope that looting will get us some more shells for shulker boxes. We make our way up the tower, obliterating the shulkers along the way. The chests give us decent loot with some enchanted diamond and iron tools and armor along with emeralds and other stuff. But what we really are after is on the ship. So we pearl over to the ship, take care of the shulkers, and make sure to carefully get the dragon head. Then we go inside and set our eyes on the elytra and the treasure. Using our anvil and mending and unbreaking books, we enchant the elytra so that we can more freely explore the end. The wings then take us to the next city that we saw in the distance earlier. It is day 69, and we loot the second city, getting another dragon head, another elytra, and more good loot. Oh, and more shulker shells, which is great. After getting 38 shells and 2 elytras, along with other good loot, instead of flying to the third end city that we saw earlier, we opt to get to an end gate to ultimately return to the overworld. To return home to the last bed we slept in, we repair our shield with some good old unbreaking, mending, villager trading. Day 71, we return to the Nether in search of another fortress or even a bastion. With the elytra, we fly, kill some gas, and we mine some gold before eventually stumbling upon a bastion inside a warped forest. We find some interesting loot in the chest, but we have to be careful of the piglins and brutes because they hit pretty hard. Dr. Tun takes care of them though, and we get their treasure and gold blocks. Are we the good guy or the bad guy here? Toward the center of the Bastion, we spot some nether wart, which we hadn't found in the Nether Fortress a while ago, so that's good. We take care of more piglins before getting it, and more treasure chests. With the shulker box now full, with loot and Bastion explored, we make our exit. Heading west, we happen to run into the same Nether Fortress that we found many days ago, and decide to stay a bit to get some wither skeleton tools before returning home. Six schools later, we fly back home to our lonely nether portal. Welcome back, my rain and phantoms. We get that gold smelting and nether wart planted. Tired though, we steal a villager's bed and they look at us funny. After admiring our ore supply, we fly out to go looking for chickens to make a simple egg farm. One is found and is easily enticed to follow us when tempted with seeds. Crossing the desert, we eventually make it home, and a place is made for the chicken so that hoppers will funnel its eggs to a chest for us. Some more emerald gathering before getting the chicken to its new home. A bit more villager trading, and then setting up the cleric and brewing area. With the wither on our mind, we figure some regen potions may be a good idea. One more emerald session and then it's time to go down into our mine to fight the big bad wither. The wither proves to be a brutal and cruel foe, but our bow and sword gradually deal him in. Plus, the regen potions do a good job of balancing the wither effect. The battle raged, but we were not giving up. And finally, after a long struggle, the wither gives in to the final blow and is defeated, exploding, leaving the beautiful nether star behind. Day 78, we return home and trade some more with our villager friends to get more emeralds we need for a beacon. After deciding where we want it, we dig a 2x3 area downward for a max size beacon. Improvisions have to be made as we run into our old mine stairway, but before we finish, we decide to work on an elevator system that will go from the surface to the beacon and mining level. Embarking on a journey to find kelp, we fly away to an ocean. We find a shipwreck with a map, and then get our kelp before spotting a weird island with floating pieces on the flight back home. Back at base, we work on the elevators by digging down in the correct spots and using our magma block, soul sand, kelp, and water. To finish and keep the water inside, we place some handy signs. Elevator's now functional. We work on fixing the staircase in our mine to reroute it around the beacon beams. We also use our eggs to get more chickens, which will buff our egg farm. with a farmer chilling inside a composter. What's not to love? I mean, I ain't judging. We get more emeralds, create our beacon, and then work on our placement for the beacon. As we get deeper, we get a grip of diamonds and run into a neat amethyst geode. However, we must avoid distraction, so we keep digging until we fall down into the new cave that the Wither kindly created for us. We begin building our emerald block pyramid for our beacon, but must get more to complete it. A bit more villager trading gets us what we need though, and we place the first beacon with room for 5 more that could be placed later potentially. Setting this first beacon to give us speed, we head back to the surface to work on finishing something that should have already been done, the house. Now with just 16 days remaining, we earnestly work to finish the big house by gathering wood and getting a roof on it. Lucky that it doesn't rain or storm in the Mesa, but it still has to be done. We make a stairway upward because we'll have a room for the 3rd floor. We untie the very patient golems and make our library on the villager floor along with the enchantment area. Then back to working more on the house structure and more terracotta gathering. And villager beds are moved to a resting area instead of just scattered all around the 2nd floor like they were. Sprinkling some trading here and there to keep our stuff mended, we keep working away and the house is taking shape. Dark oak trapdoors for shutters seem to work well, and coming back from my flight to get more terracotta, we notice the house looks better with the roof on it. More shutters and terracotta placement, and we finally decide on jungle wood for the doors. Bamboo for scaffolding will also be handy. And that definitely does help for the window shutters on the 2nd floor. Now it's time to fix the mess of the bottom floor, as we have to lower the ground with much of it. But it gets straightened out, and using chest hoppers and the furnaces, we make a good semi-automatic smelting area. To stock it up with lava fuel, we buy some buckets from the fishermen and relocate our lava farm to the smelting area inside the house. We go get some fresh air and an aerial view of the house, which finally looks like a house now. Now on the last 4 days, there is a ton left to do, but we focus on making the house look better by hanging up paintings, using white glazed terracotta for flooring in the smelting area, and carpeting the floors. We also place villager job blocks in better places and work on organization and some finishing touches. Although we never had time for acquiring netherite, and along with some other things we would have liked to have done, we did manage to accomplish quite a bit in these 100 days. The Ender Dragon and Wither were defeated, a beacon was constructed, villagers were rescued and given a good and safe home, and became good trading partners. And our very large house was constructed to hold everything. Plus, we built a lot of useful farms. The desolate Mesa was turned into a thriving oasis and center of commerce. Really hope you enjoyed this adventure as I did. It was difficult, but we made it a long way. Thank you so much for making it this far and watching. And I hope you have an awesome day.